would say there are a few really great people carrying out investigations into the deep state, a few people who are willing to expose corruption from some of the highest levels of government. But I can't think of anyone that does it better than James O'Keefe, who, of course, you know from Project Veritas and now the O'Keefe Media Group. And he's got another big expose that just dropped. The headline, let me just read you this. I defied my government for love. U.S. State Department Foreign Service officer dated senior CCP leader's daughter, admits she could have been a spy. Oh, and then refused to report her. Here is a snippet of this video.
You said you dated a Chinese girl?
Work based on like.
So she got this work visa to work for this American company that did a lot of research. Yeah, I was supposed to whatever.
Because I think I know the way it works.
Sort of report what I knew about her.
Were they worried? Like, is there a concern that it could be like related to CCP though?
Yeah. I mean,
They need to like
she could.
take
Like, I know her dad. Like,
Republican Party.
her dad was
They
like
don't know.
either a provincial or a federal minister of education. So he's like straight up Communist
Like,
Party. I don't know. Maybe she could have been a spy even. I don't really know.
You know, the way they talk.
I don't know. Maybe she could have been a spy even. I don't really know.
I defied my government for love.
So casually, like, yeah, she could have been a spy. I don't know. Welcome to the show, the founder of both Project Veritas and O'Keefe Media Group, James O'Keefe. James, thanks for joining me. I could not believe how casually this guy's like, yeah, it's just a relative of the CCP. Not what possibly could go wrong here.
Oh, thank God I was not a Chinese spy when I was recording this guy or engaged in some blackmail or nefarious purpose. But yeah, this is Daniel Choi, worked at the State Department for almost 20 years and was in charge of vetting all student visas from China, a program that recent arrests show has become less about education and a pipeline for infiltration and espionage. So this is a guy in the State Department talking to a random stranger about he's sleeping with a Chinese spy whose father is this woman that he was sleeping with, the daughter of the Chinese Communist Party. The State Department confirmed. And now he's been fired, which is really extraordinary because it's the first time in American history that the executive branch of government has fired a State Department official in this way.
Yeah, I mean, and that is extraordinary. Obviously, it wouldn't have happened without all of your work. So I understand, James, you are the best at what you do, and I wouldn't ever ask you, just as you don't ask a magician to reveal his secrets. I wouldn't ask you to reveal all of your behind the scenes secrets. But I keep watching these, and I'm like, how are you getting these people to talk? You just randomly in conversation. He's like, oh, yeah, it turns out I was dating a member of the CCP. Like, how is it that these men are always so willing to just spill the beans on all this?
I think we have to look at it a little differently than the way that people look at it when they ask that question, because it's a good question. But I think if you change your perspective on the way things are in the world, that all around us, everything's a lie. I mean, I've come to the conclusion that there's so much fraud. Things are so systemically broken. In our world, in our politics, in our government, there's a conspiracy of silence that everyone maintains. We all know it's BS, but we don't talk about it. So when the official narrative is so far afield from reality, all you have to do is point your hidden camera in any direction and you'll contradict what the official narrative is. So we've gotten, 10 people or so fired from the deep state in the last 6 months. 10 individuals have been fired because and you might think this is sophisticated undercover work. Well, we do a good job and we have a good team and we're able to find these people, but this is not like the 10th meeting with this guy. This is the first meeting with this guy. Within the first few minutes of sitting down, they behave this way. And it's because there's no ethics and there's no integrity. There's no accountability too. Sarah, there's zero accountability in our government whatsoever. No one's been held accountable for anything as far as I know. I know that the Attorney General just went after James Comey, and they're going after Letitia James. But to this day, I've been in handcuffs twice by my FBI. No one has been arrested. So when you have a world that's built completely on lies and no one's held accountable for anything, you have situations like this U.S. diplomat bragging to the girl that he's sleeping with a Chinese spy because he knows that he'll never get in trouble for anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point because this has been the culmination of decades of these people, these deep staters, just having absolutely no consequences. Is the only reason that I could think of as to why he would be so arrogant to just brag about this in broad daylight and at the first meeting. But it also leads me to another issue, I think, where I'm not sure that Americans understand how dangerous it is to be flirting with the CCP, how dangerous it is that the CCP would have our data, our information, that he would be in charge of these student visas, that they would be coming into our schools. I mean, I think that the average American doesn't quite understand that in many ways, China is already at war with us in ways that we don't even understand or are not taking the time to fight back against.
And including in these ways, sending girls to get compromising materials. Yeah, this guy was getting Chinese student visas and into the U.S. university system as a U.S. diplomat. Daniel Choi is his name. Worked in the State Department for 2 decades. Yeah, I mean, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And I keep saying it. Thank God I'm not. I mean, I'm one of the few men who collect this information not for purposes of trying to use it as leverage. I'm collecting this information so the public may see it. But most of the time, dark forces collect this type of information to use it as leverage. And there's been many books written about this. And blackmail is a serious problem in Washington, D.C. And there's more spies in Washington, D.C. than anywhere in the world. So it's a huge problem. And we have an accountability crisis in our world. People say, what's the solution? James O'Keefe, what can I do? That's the other question I get asked. What can I do? Well, obviously, this type of thing is creating more accountability than you're getting from your own government. So perhaps we need to do more of this type of thing. It's getting people fired. It helps people understand. It acts as a deterrent to other would-be fraudsters who are behaving unethically and doing this sort of behavior. So we need people to sign up, obviously, to be American swipers at O'KeefeMediaGroup.com. And if you see something, record it and report it, because that's the power of the First Amendment. And we have the New York Times. I'm holding this up because my staff gave it to me. The New York Times has been forced to report about this investigation. That's pretty extraordinary. The New York Times writing, quote, "They fired diplomat discussing the relationship while being secretly recorded by another woman he met who works for the media figure James O'Keefe." Man, they must have been dragged kicking and screaming to report that in today's print edition of the New York Times.
Yeah, I can see the tears now as they're having to type the words James O'Keefe, and they're like, "Oh, God, dang it, he did it again."
Yeah. Oh man, and that's the power of real journalism, where you're exposing reality is more effective, more potent than opining and conjecture and thoughts. You know, we need more of that type of journalism. So this deep state that we have, this administrative state, is on notice because people might be sitting across from you, might have a hidden camera, as I've said to you many times, and it's happening, and it's going to continue to happen. And as I said in my video, we're about to break another big one in a week or two in our government. Real fraud, embezzlement, wire fraud, corruption at the highest levels, hundreds of millions of dollars, and stolen money. And it's going to get to the point where if people aren't arrested, if there's no prison, forget hangings and all that stuff they used to do. There's a discussion we can have about whether we should amend the Constitution and bring back cruel and unusual punishment.
Yeah.
But if no one's even arrested for this stuff,
Right.
Maybe it's time we start investigating the people who have the power to make the arrests.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Well, tell everyone where they can find the full video of this latest expose, and then where they can go to stay tuned and stay up to date on this next one that you've just mentioned.
Well, most people just get their news from social media these days. So you can follow us at my name, James O'Keefe, III. I'm James O'Keefe the third. My father was junior. My grandfather was senior. James O'Keefe, III, at Twitter, X, Instagram, Truth Social, Facebook, whatever you care to follow us on, YouTube. And you can also go to our website, O'KeefeMediaGroup.com, O'KeefeMediaGroup.com. And you can donate to us. You can subscribe to us. You can become an undercover person. And we need more undercover people, particularly in Washington, D.C. I don't go to Washington, D.C., by the way. I never go there unless I'm confronting a bad guy or secretly recording a government official.
Yeah.
And I do it myself. They still don't recognize me. That shows their egotism, their narcissism, their lack of accountability. People say, how do they not recognize you, James? That would presuppose that they care about anything besides themselves.
That's a great point.
So go to our website, o'keefemediagroup.com, sign up, donate, and stay tuned.
Yes, I appreciate all of your great work, James, and that's a great point. They always you'll wear like just a mustache, and then it's just for me. I'm like, it's totally James, and they're like, oh my god, I didn't know it was.
There's
you.
one I have coming out where I wore the most ridiculous wig ever, and you're thinking, how could they not know that it's you? And then people always say, James, how do you get away with it? And it's just because they don't even care about me. They care about themselves.
That's a great point.
And unfortunately we live in that type of society. So I'm just going to keep, I'll always have a job. I'll always have fraud to expose.
They're making it a little bit easier for you, which I'm sure you appreciate. James O'Keefe, of course, of O'Keefe Media Group. Thank you so much, my friend. Great work. If you like this clip and you want to see the full episode, click here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, come on, you know you do. Click here.